The Valkyrie armada descended through Earth's atmosphere with the confidence of conquerors who had subjugated 17 worlds before this one. Their sleek, obsidian vessels cut through the clouds above what the natives called New York City, and Supreme Commander Jotik allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. This primitive planet would fall within hours. "Begin deployment," he commanded, his 3 eyes gleaming in the dim light of the command deck. The first transport ships landed in Central Park, their ramps extending with a pneumatic hiss. What emerged, however, was not the fearsome invasion force Jotik had envisioned. The Valkyrie soldiers stumbled down the ramps, their exoskeletons whining in protest. One collapsed immediately, his breathing apparatus struggling to process the thick atmosphere. Another managed 3 steps before his legs buckled, sending him crashing face first into the grass with a sickening crunch. "Commander," the communications officer's voice trembled. "Gravity. The gravity here is, I can see that," Jotik snarled, watching his elite warriors crawl on their bellies like wounded insects. Dr. Kendall Morrison was having coffee in her Columbia University office when her phone exploded with alerts. As Earth's leading xenobiologist, she'd spent her career preparing for first contact. She just hadn't expected it to be quite so pathetic. 20 minutes later, she stood at the edge of Central Park alongside military personnel, staring at the alien soldiers who lay sprawled across the lawn like beached fish. Their armor sparked and hissed, hydraulic systems straining against Earth's 1G pull. Dr. Morrison, Colonel Hayes approached, his expression caught between alarm and bemusement. "What are we looking at?" Kendall knelt beside the nearest alien, careful not to touch. The creature's breathing was labored, its 3 eyes rolling in what she recognized as distress. "They're from a low-gravity world," she said, pulling out her tablet to run quick calculations. "Based on their bone density and muscle structure, I'd estimate their homeworld has maybe 0 for G at most, so they can't stand up. Not without help." Kendall stood, gesturing to the paralyzed invaders. "To them, Earth feels like they're being crushed under twice their normal weight. It would be like us trying to invade Jupiter." A harsh mechanical voice crackled from the nearest alien's translator. "You, will, pay, for this, deception." Kendall frowned. "Deception? We didn't do anything. This is just our planet." Aboard the command ship, Jotik refused to accept defeat. The Valkyrie had conquered the ferocious Reikta, outsmarted the calculating Quor, and enslaved the resilient Fothi. They would not be bested by simple gravity. "Deploy the gravity compensation units," he ordered. The second wave descended, wearing bulky anti-grav harnesses. They managed to stand, though their movements were sluggish and awkward. As they advanced toward the gathered humans, weapons raised, something unexpected happened. A young man stepped forward from the crowd. Caleb Chen was a construction worker who'd been jogging through the park when the ships landed. At 6'2" and 200 pounds of muscle earned from years of physical labor, he was an average specimen of human physicality. To the Valkyrie, he was a titan. "Hey," Caleb called out, apparently not grasping the gravity pun intended of the situation. "You guys okay? You look like you're struggling there." The lead Valkyrie soldier raised his plasma rifle with trembling arms. The weapon, designed for their homeworld, now weighed 3 times what it should. Before he could fire, Caleb simply reached out and took it from him. "Whoa, this thing's pretty light," Caleb said, examining the alien weapon with curiosity. "What's it made of?" "Aluminum." The soldier stumbled backward, his anti-grav harness whining. He tried to throw a punch, a devastating blow on his homeworld. On Earth, his fist moved through the air as if through molasses. Caleb caught it casually with one hand. "Dude, are you even trying?" Caleb looked genuinely confused. Kendall watched the exchange with growing understanding. She pulled up data on her tablet, her fingers flying across the screen. "Colonel, I need to speak with their commander." An hour later, Kendall sat across from Supreme Commander Jotik, in a hastily arranged meeting room at the UN building. The alien commander reclined in a specially designed low-gravity chair, his pride as wounded as his soldiers. "Your people evolved on a death world," Jotik said, his translator rendering his tone with bitter respect. "How do you survive such crushing force?" "We don't think of it as crushing," Kendall explained patiently. "This is normal for us. Our bones are dense, our muscles strong, our hearts powerful enough to pump blood against this gravity. Everything about us evolved to handle this pressure." She pulled up a holographic display showing comparative anatomy. "Your people are perfectly adapted for your environment. But here," she paused, choosing her words carefully, "here, our children could overpower your greatest warriors, not because we're superior, but because physics doesn't care about military might." Jothik's 3 eyes focused on the display, watching simulations of human and Valkyrie physiology. His warriors, so graceful and powerful on their homeworld, were crippled here. Meanwhile, these humans moved through what should have been a crushing gravitational field as if it were nothing. "What do you want?" he asked finally. "Surrender. Reparations." Kendall glanced at Colonel Hayes, who nodded slightly. "We want you to leave Earth alone," she said. "But we also want to talk. Your technology is impressive. You've clearly mastered space travel in ways we're still learning. Maybe instead of invasion, we could discuss cooperation. You would help us. After we attacked you." "You didn't really attack us," Caleb interjected from where he stood by the door, still holding the confiscated plasma rifle. "You kinda just fell over." Hard to hold a grudge against that. Despite everything, Kendall thought she detected the alien equivalent of a laugh from Jotik. "Your gravity had other plans," he said softly. "Yeah," Kendall smiled. "Yeah, it did." 3 months later, the Valkyrie departed Earth with trade agreements instead of conquest. They'd learned a valuable lesson. In the universe, sometimes the greatest defense isn't technology or military might, it's simply the ground beneath your feet. And Caleb Chen gained minor internet fame as the guy who casually disarmed an alien invasion. He still insisted he was just trying to help Dot. As for Kendall, she filed the incident in her growing database of xenobiological encounters, noting in her report, "When planning interstellar expansion, always check the gravity first. It might save everyone a lot of embarrassment." The Valkyrie never attempted to invade another high-gravity world again. They did, however, become Earth's most enthusiastic advocates in the Galactic Council, warning others, "The humans are nice, but their planet will literally crush you. Trust us." We learned the hard way.